Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be making pepper chicken and pepper gizzard. To start off, you just have to season your meat. You can use whatever season that you have. I normally use chicken polo, and then I have my Old Bay seasoning, and then I use some basil, and that's Old Bay seasoning. So when I was doing this, the season came out a lot, but then my lucky, I guess, term was that the season does not contain too much salt, the Old Bay seasoning. So even though it came out a lot, it didn't make my food salty. So as you can see, I was trying to correct my mistake, but it was too late, right? Mistakes happen. So I'm like, let it go. And besides, that seasoning is really good. So I just went ahead and mixed my gizzard, and yeah, I continue with the process of like seasoning my gizzard. One thing I must say is that when you buy your gizzard, always make sure that you clean it, because sometimes there are stuff in it. I think it look like a yellow stuff, and if you don't clean it, like your gizzard will be bitter. So then I continue the process. As you guys can see earlier, I added my garlic, and then on my chicken, I just added again some Old Bay seasoning. This time I was careful, I didn't put enough, and then I just sprinkled just a tiny bit of my other polo seasoning, and those are my basil leaves. I just sprinkled a lot. So I did not really do a measurement to this one because I just want you to use the seasons that you have available and just sprinkle it to taste. You can taste it to see whether it's salty. I know that is not a good process to teach someone, but I apologize. Okay, so then I end up rubbing the seasoning into the chicken as well, and I put them in the bag in the freezer for some time, and then after that I put it on the pan for it to bake in the oven. And yeah, I just put it side by side, and I think it was in the oven for like 45 minutes because I wanted them to be really dry. So I left them there for 45 minutes, and I think it was on 350 degree oven. And yeah, so I just put it on there for it to dry. Yes. So while it's in the oven for it to cook, I went ahead and processed my peppers and then my onions. So the first batch of peppers and onions is what I'm gonna use to make the sauce, and the other one is what I'm gonna use to garnish. So I end up using 2 onions and then 1 tomatoes and then some bell peppers. I'm gonna put all the list of ingredients below and some of the amounts that I have. At this point, my chicken was done and my gizzard, so now it's time for the process of making the sauce. So what I did was I had 1/4 of a cup of oil, and then I put the tomatoes, onions, and peppers, and I blended with some maggie. I used just 1 cube of maggie. I wanted to use both, but I'm like, no, let me just use 1 cube. And then I put on tomato. This was a different kind of tomato than the one I used to. Then I added my peanuts. So this process for me was different because normally I do this in the pot, but that day I'm like, let me try something different. So I just put them all into the food processor for them to blend. And what I noticed with this process is that it takes shorter for it to cook, for you to prepare it, and it actually tastes better when you blend everything together. So to tell whether my oil was ready, I just put in a little bit of onions on there so that when it starts frying, I will know that my oil is ready to receive all my deliciousness of things, right? So at this point, as you can see, my oil was ready. So I just went ahead bit by bit and put in the blended sauce that I have made for my chicken and gizzard. So yeah, I just put it in bit by bit, And yes, so I really enjoyed making this recipe. And if you guys have any questions or anything, just put it below. And then I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and tell your neighbor, tell your friend to subscribe to this channel for all of your Sierra Leone and other food delicacies. Okay, so then you just mix your mixture and let it cook. At this point I added some seasoning, just a little bit of the old base seasoning. This time I was very careful not to spill it all in my sauce. And then I add my basil leaves, which gives it a little bit of lovely flavor, and I love it. And then I add my polo chicken seasoning, just a sprinkle of it. And then the funny part is coming, right? So I wanted to add on my original blend seasoning. I didn't know that the seasoning had been dried at the bottom, so actually nothing came out. Nothing, guys. Like, just laugh at me. Nothing came out. Can you just see that? So I just decided to trash that old seasoning, like, bum, go to the trash. And then I just used what I have. So because that blended seasoning wasn't working for me, I put in my black pepper. Adding some of my black pepper for that flavor. Whenever you're cooking, you want to build your flavors, because you want somebody to taste it and go, what kind of spices do you have on here? You know, you don't want it to be just bland and just dry. And I do understand some people like their food like that. But if you're like me and you're from Africa and you love all the extra, girl, put on the extra. Boy, put on the extra on there, okay? So then I went ahead and add my chicken polo seasoning, just a tiny bit of it, because at this point I had tasted. I'm like, I just need a little bit more seasoning. So as you can see here, you can tell that my sauce is looking way better than it was looking white. Now it's cooking, like it's cooking really good. So then I put some lime on it, because that's how you make the sauce for the chicken and pepper gizzard. I cut the lime into two. The half I put for it to mix with the sauce. The other one I'm gonna use to garnish when I'm done. So yeah, put your lime in there and then you mix it together. Like I said, this is the easy process and I really enjoyed it. So you mix that lime in there. Oh, that thing was so delicious. So delicious. And yeah, so people might ask, what do you have this with? It's actually a snack. You can eat it by itself, but you can also eat it with rice. For the most part, it's just a snack. So yeah, as you can see at this point, my sauce was ready, and yeah, I was just turning it around for it not to burn, because you don't want it to burn. And then after that, I'm just gonna put in my gizzard. I put in my gizzard. You can see my gizzard is nice and crunchy because I left it in the oven for a while. So put in your gizzard, and then you put in your chicken. After you put in your gizzard and your chicken, you mix it all together. And yes, this is the easy way to make your pepper chicken and pepper gizzard. Okay, Sierra Leone version with peanut butter. And I love it so much. It tastes delicious. So yeah, I put in my drumsticks chicken in there, and time for us to mix it. We're gonna mix it really good and then transfer it. So yeah, as you can see, I already mixed it. I mixed it well with the sauce. The sauce was just the right amount. Like I said, this food is a snack. You eat it, but some people can actually eat it with bread, and some people can eat it with rice, but for the most part it's just a snack. Yeah, so I transfer it onto the bowl and I put in my garnish onions and peppers and then my lime, and it was looking lovely. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you're new to this channel is all about food, Sierra Leonean food and other different kinds of food. Look at how that food is looking so yummy. Thank you guys, and thank you for subscribing. I can't say thank you enough. And God bless you, and have a lovely and a fantastic